Hey everyone, very impromptu video here, but Ben Affleck is back as Batman. This video is going to talk all about what that means and what this means going forward for the DC Cinematic Universe. Now, like all of you guys, this news was not expected. I think I speak for everyone when we thought that Ben Affleck's days as Batman were done, and that probably the Robert Pattinson Batman would one day be brought into the fold and be our brand new Batman to follow. But now with the news, and this is legit news too, by the way, this is news that's being reported by Variety, Deadline, all the major outlets. Now, the interesting thing is that yes, it's guaranteed we're going to see Batman. We're going to see Ben Affleck as Batman one more time. But does that actually mean he's going to be our Batman moving forward? That's the question. All right, you guys, so I just pulled up the Variety article and I'm going to read exactly what director Muschietti said verbatim. He's a very substantial part of the emotional impact of the movie. The interaction and relationship between Barry and Affleck's Wayne will bring an emotional level that we haven't seen before. It's Barry's movie, it's Barry's story, but their characters are more related than we think. They both lost their mothers to murder, and that's one of the emotional vessels of the movie. That's where the Affleck Batman kicks in. Now, that's very interesting because I always thought, especially after the Keaton news, that Keaton was going to be a part of this new Flash movie, I thought for sure we weren't going to get Ben Affleck back. But now that we have Ben Affleck's Batman and Michael Keaton's Batman, here's where a little bit of the confusion kicks in, right? Because if you remember, I don't know if it was Batman v Superman or in Justice League, where Alfred makes a comment to Ben Affleck's Batman, where he says, oh, this is something much, or referring back to the days when they used to fight these animated penguins, referring back to Batman Returns.
Fairy tales and ghost stories.
One misses the days when one's biggest concerns were exploding wind-up penguins.
A simple life.
Does that mean that Michael Keaton back then was the younger Batman and then eventually, turned into Ben Affleck? Is that what they're referring to? There is that possibility. Granted, that's a bit of a stretch because, for all we know, that was probably at the time a nod of the cap to audiences, like, hey, look, we're referring to the old Batman. Maybe. But there is that possibility that both of them are exactly the same Batman and not necessarily two Batmans from just two different universes. Now, a key part of the quote from Muschietti is the fact that he says it's a very substantial part. Now, substantial part doesn't mean it's a long part. It doesn't mean he's going to be there for the entirety of the movie alongside, Ezra Miller's Flash. For all we know, a substantial part could be he plays a critical part of the story that pushes the movie forward. For all we know, something happens to Ben Affleck's Batman in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then we don't see him again until the very end. And it's just Barry's story throughout, and what's pushing it are the events that happen to Ben Affleck's Batman. Now, it's important to keep in mind that the original draft, or one of the original drafts for The Flash, kind of touched on the idea of making it almost a buddy cop movie, where it was Flash and Cyborg at one point. Now, granted, the film has been in development for so long, and there's been so many different incarnations of the script. There is that possibility that it still has a bit of that buddy cop feel, but maybe it's not with Ezra and Ben, but instead Ezra and Michael Keaton. Now, what does this mean moving forward? Moving forward, you have to imagine that now the doors are open for a ton of possibilities here. Is it possible that Ben Affleck is now officially back as kind of the cinematic universe Batman? That is a possibility, where you have Robert Pattinson being another version of Batman that just lives in a different universe. Because we already see that version of Batman being now toiled a little bit with being on HBO Max with not the film, but parts of the film with a DC show coming up, possibly dealing with that universe. So it could be very possible that that's just a completely different Batman that lives in the same kind of universe, maybe just in a different world, but the same universe. Now, another reality here is the fact that we could possibly see not just a return of Ben Affleck as Batman, but maybe the end of Ben Affleck's Batman. Because let's be honest, when Ben left the franchise, he left under very different circumstances where it didn't, he didn't have like a finality. He didn't leave officially, you know, he didn't have like a good goodbye. It was just very sudden, very automatic. He's here, he's gone, and it was done. And maybe this is a way for him to kind of say goodbye in many respects, right? Or to kind of send them off the right way so that the universe, the cinematic universe, can continue with more fluidity, if you will, right? So if this is a Flashpoint story, right? Let's say something, again, all of everything that I'm about to say is 110% hypothetical, okay? Keep that in mind. But this is just my opinion. I think what ends up happening here is that we will get something happening to Ben Affleck's Batman where something the Flash did leads to the end of Ben Affleck's Batman, whether he dies or something catastrophic happens to Ben Affleck's Batman that Flash has to go back in time and now work with the older Bruce Wayne, which would have been, now I'm confusing myself. At some point, he goes back into the past or the future, what have you, finds Michael Keaton to try to fix what he did and tries to save Ben Affleck. But in return, maybe that's what pairs the current DC universe with Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman. Again, all of this is just hypothetical stuff where we're all just, I think, I speak for everyone when I say I think we're all excited to have Ben Affleck back, even if it's just for one more go around. It's safe to say he is one of the better Batmans that we've had. I still give it to Bale. I still think Bale's been the best one, but Ben Affleck has been so great, and I was always happy when he was cast as Batman. I know he received a lot of hate for that, but I remember writing even a blog post being excited about having Ben Affleck back or having Ben Affleck as Batman. So it sucked that we never really got to see his version of the Batman where he wanted to direct the film. And it's sad that his kind of journey through being Batman was filled with a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. So hopefully if this is the last time we see Ben Affleck as Batman, it'll be a very, very fun go around this time. Well, that'll be it for this video. Again, thank you guys for watching. This is a very impromptu video, but I felt with this type of news, I had to make a video. So let's see what happens at DC Fandom on Saturday. For all we know, there might be some more surprises in store, even though I'm pretty sure there will be more surprises. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.